Bum,
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 ba-da-da,
bum, bum.
Ring.
Yeah, I kind of had a half-hearted.
Ring is right.
Kind of had a
Yeah.
half-hearted bendy for today. Welcome to the Blue Review presented by LAX. I'm Marcus Grant alongside Greg Bergman, Parker Bell, and as normal on a Monday, Clint Pasillas. Happy Monday, guys.
It's a Monday, just Monday.
It's
Just
a Monday.
Monday.
Yeah. Just
That
Monday.
seems fair. The Dodgers swept at home by the Milwaukee Brewers. Freddie Freeman gets hurt, has to leave the ball game. We will wait for updates on him, but things are all bad. We'll get into that and more. Hopefully they can turn things around with the Twins coming into town for 3 games. But before we do any of that, I want to give a shout out to the folks at LAX, Los Angeles International Airport, transforming the travel experience, saving guests time. Looking forward to the People Mover train, hopefully up and running early next year. And for more information, you can go to flylax.com/transforminglAX. Clint, it was all bad this weekend against the Brewers.
Wasn't good. I didn't see a whole lot of good in there.
Ooh.
They apparently forgot how to play defense. Can't get too many timely hits in there. The pitching doesn't know or really much knows how to be consistently inconsistent. I mean, if we were talking for a week plus about how much this team needed the break, maybe they're still in the break. I don't really know what's going on.
Yeah, you are. And Clint, by the way, you sound a little off. You sound like you're in a tin can. So maybe reset your mic.
That's weird.
Yeah, it's all good.
Okay.
Just taking it back a little bit. But this is
Everything about the Dodgers is off. Everything about the Dodgers is
Yeah.
off. Even the mics on the Blue Review.
Clint's
They're rubbing
mic is
off
off.
on us.
It's a major problem. But like Marcus, this is a problem. What we're seeing here is not fun baseball in the slightest to watch. This is a bad Dodgers team right now. There's no other way to put it. They're bad. They're bad defensively. They're errors galore. They can't stop anybody from getting hits. They can't get timely hitting. It's everything that can go bad is bad right now. I know Shohei's hitting a couple of home runs. That's wonderful, but nobody else. I feel like Shohei's on the Angels again, where he just keeps hitting home runs and throwing 3 innings pitched of like great ball, but then still lose those games. It's just incredibly, incredibly frustrating to watch day in and day out. Parker.
That may have been the perfect embodiment of this Dodgers team right now. The stars aren't performing, so it feels like I'm watching another Mike Trout-esque season with people getting injured here and there. But it's not just one player; it's a bunch of players, and it's really tough. Bottom line, you're getting swept by the Brewers. How many times this season? We can't beat the NL Central. The Dodgers can't beat the NL Central. Not we. I mean, at this point, I don't even want to be associated with them. They need to regroup fast, guys. They got to turn their focus.
I thought
on
the days
Twins.
of tungsten arm O'Doyle were gone.
Yeah,
right. No, it's been tough, Clint, and Marcus. Yeah.
No, I was gonna say I thought tungsten arm O'Doyle was gone now that Shohei left Anaheim, but apparently it's still around. It's still a thing here. I mean, where does it start, Clint? Is it an offensive problem? Is it a pitching problem? Is it a defensive problem? Is there one thing to pinpoint right now?
It's one of those, and I don't know if I sound still bad or not. You let me know, Greg.
Just a little bit. I think it's coming out of the computer. I don't know.
I don't think you're coming through your microphone.
Hello. According to my
I would say just like go out and come back in. And,
all right, I will leave, and then I will be back, and I will be angry.
All right.
Yes.
That's what we want.
Tuned.
I want your anger. We want the anger, Clint.
All right, so then I will pose that question to you, Greg. Is it a pitching problem? Is it an offensive problem? Is it a defensive problem? What is the main culprit here?
Yes. Yes, it's all in the above. Like I was saying, that it's the errors that have been the most frustrating to watch, because this team is so built upon being good defensively. This is what they did in the postseason last year with how they won against New York, is that they knew, in both New York teams, they knew that there's going to be problems in their outfield, in their infield, that they're going to make the mistakes. The little mistakes were going to happen, and they were going to take advantage of those, and they'd be able to take extra bases and score more runs that way. And they did that, and they went to a World Series win. Now we're doing the exact same thing. This is bad defense. This over and over and over again. Pages with a ball that he should have absolutely caught was just right, like just went right over his glove. Teo is an absolute mess in right field. He has at least an error a game right now is what it feels like. He's terrible in right field. He needs to go over to left. There needs to be a change. There was bad throwing errors from Tommy Edman just over and over again. Kershaw was going to get out of that clean and instead gives up 3 runs to have the game tied. And then it just starts snowballing from there. And then if it's not just the offense, at least the offense started to hit this weekend. So you got more runs, but you gave up more runs throughout as well. So it goes all the way up through and through. I felt really bad for Kershaw because he should have been out of most of that game completely clean. And instead he had to throw extra pitches and it took way too long for him to get back in.
Yeah. I mean, it's just everything going wrong at the wrong time, right? The way I looked at it is, they're not playing complimentary baseball. The days that they
Nope.
hit and drive in runs, the pitching and the defense let them down. On the days they get good pitching, it seems like they can't generate any sort of offense. The defense has been shaky. Tommy Edman making a throwing error, I thought was glaring in the sense that before, okay, if he wasn't hitting, that was one thing, but you knew you could sort of count on his defense. But if he's not hitting and making errors, then that becomes a problem. Esteury Ruiz sort of making mistakes in the outfield. Yeah, I know he hit the home run, which I don't know where that came from, but hits the home run, but is making mistakes in the outfield. It's just nothing is going right for this team right now.
He airmailed a couple of balls.
Do we credit?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I said, do we credit the Brewers? I mean, they have won 11 in a row. They are playing good baseball. How much of this is the Brewers? How much of those is this just the Dodgers sort of vomiting on their shoes?
I think it's a little of both. The Brewers are a very, very good baseball team right now. They are peaking right now, and you can see it happening. They just seem like that team, though, that is just a bunch of slap hitters that just go out there. Like, you're not afraid, really, of anybody on that roster. Maybe Jackson Churio, but besides that, and Yelich, I wasn't really afraid of. He's good still, but not the same guy he was a few years ago. But they are playing very well. Their bullpen is pitching very well. Their starters are actually are very good too. They're a good baseball team, but the Dodgers should have won 2 of those games. They should have won on Saturday, on Sunday. They could have very well swept because Glasnow pitched out of his mind. So there was a lot of spots where they could have won, but the Brewers are a good team. I think the Dodgers are just playing very, very down baseball right now. And I just want to be clear. There's a difference between panicking and frustration. I am very, very frustrated with this team. I'm sure you two are too as well, Parker. I still believe fully in this team that they're going to win the World Series because it's going to work itself out. And in, let's say, a month's time, they're going to be the best team in baseball all over again because they're not far back from that. But right now, even Kershaw's annoyed and upset and pissed off, saying after the game, like, we got to play better baseball. So this is a frustration. It is not a panic.
Yeah, I think that Kershaw he said it perfectly. If he were to actually say his words, they would have to, find him. This is frustration all the way through and through. And even Clint is in the chat saying, hey, I'm almost there. Be ready for anger. It's okay to be angry, and it's okay I know that we nitpick all season long, and this Dodgers team is really good. So we have to find things to nitpick at, but this is a little more than nitpicking. This is actually noticing real issues that need to be fixed soon. Otherwise, I know that we still feel that they'll make the World Series. That may be true, but it's not a World Series winning team if you're going to be playing anywhere near this. And you're not even really a deep team if you're going to be playing like this, Marcus.
Yeah, I mean, if they're playing like this, I don't know that this team gets out of the first round at the way they're playing right now. And look, I get it. It's July 21st. There's plenty of time for them to kind of get this thing going. We got Clint back here. I just wanted, because I know Clint is angry, you're frustrated. I would like to hear you rant about what you saw this weekend.
Well, I might still sound like a tin can. I don't know. It's just not picking it up. But the important thing is the Dodgers are bad, and apparently the microphone or the protocols are revolting here. But it's a bad team. It's a bad team right now. It's not a championship caliber ball club that we're seeing. I tweeted this over the weekend. The outfield options are an absolute joke. The fact that Esteury Ruiz is getting playing time. James Outman is just there sitting around for no reason.
Pinch runner.
Just if you wanted a 26 man that was going to do absolutely nothing, you could have kept Chris Taylor on the roster and vibes could have remained high or whatever. The bullpen was stuck with a bunch of dudes that really shouldn't be in this bullpen. All of the stars are underperforming. It's just like that. way overused perfect storm of bad. But my argument is it's currently constructed, and this is stating the obvious. It's not a World Series like championship caliber team right now, as currently constructed.
No, it's absolutely not. And to your point, there's a lot of guys getting significant playing time that nobody anticipated getting significant playing time. I mean, Estuary Ruiz wasn't even supposed to be on this roster. The fact that you mentioned James Outman is still here right now. Teo Hernandez looks like a shell of himself out in right field at the moment. I mean, but also, Greg, a big part of this too, Mookie Betts still continues to struggle. They gave him the day off on Saturday. He came back on Sunday. Did have one hit, but then also ends up making the final out with the bases loaded, a chance to possibly win the game with a base hit. I know they're not going to give up on Mookie. He's too talented, and there's too much invested in him to give up on him. But, I mean, I don't have any real answers on how he turns this thing around.
Yeah, I don't know how he does it either. And just to be clear, he didn't get the day off. He was benched. They benched his ass. Like, that was a straight up, you're not playing today because you are struggling hardcore. And the fact that they had to move him into the leadoff spot just to be like, okay, well, that's where you were at your best, is in the leadoff spot. And like, it's been only one game, so you can't really go based off of that. He did get the one hit and he had the chance to win the game, but he didn't. At least he hit that ball hard. Like that looked like it had a chance to fall. If it was just hit right on the screws, right at the center fielder. Like that. I get it, fine. But the fact is that he is as much of a problem as basically everybody else in this lineup right now. Just go up and down. Like, all the stars are struggling. Shohei is back to being Shohei, so that's good. But Mookie, Teo, Freddie are all been bad. Like, they haven't had a home run. I think they have one combined home run in the last month. Like, that's terrible. Teo hasn't had a home run since early June. It's really been bad throughout. And I honestly, they're craving Max Muncy coming back because they had that stabilization in the middle of the lineup. And now and Pages is starting to drop down. Everybody is struggling at the exact same time. And when that happens, you're just in for it for however long until at least one of them can get out of it. Shohei is moving out of it. Someone else has got to do it too.
Yeah. So, Greg, and I'll field this to Clint first. The questions in the chat. This is from Thomas, and he usually does like to, combat with us and battle back with us. And I like this question. He says, if it's frustration and not panic, then when will it be? At what point is it not a sample size of the DNA of this team, says Thomas. And I think you can also follow up with Shelley's question, because we talked about Teo for a second. Why not move him back to left, she says. And we'll start with you, Clint.
Yeah, it's funny that setup there, the first part. This is the first weekend where I've gone kind of dip my toes into the panic side of things, which is why I had my whole crap post on Twitter about it, because for weeks, gentlemen, you guys know, we all do these type of shows, and we're like, hey, everything's gonna be fine. It's the Dodgers. They're gonna figure it out. They're still gonna win the division, and that still may ring true. But when you're looking at the parts, when you're looking at the pieces and how they just kind of don't fit together well, some of those things that were kind of creeping in our heads, maybe, entering spring training, of like, is this really a good outfield? Like, I really have problems with the outfield. I should mind you. But we are starting to trend towards the panic for sure. And that's where it's like, you need to see a very busy Andrew Friedman. And I don't know that he obviously, we know he didn't want to go that hard in the paint, but he's going to have to go that hard in the paint. You're looking at least one bullpen arm. You're looking at an outfielder, maybe an infielder that I don't know where you put, but they need some very, very wholesale change. Not wholesale. They need a few pieces and a couple of wins, and everybody gets the vibes going again.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is just getting a win right now. Maybe stacking wins and get a couple wins back to back to kind of have. Because remember, they win 2 in San Francisco going into the All-Star break, and we all sort of exhaled a little bit. We're like, okay, they get a couple of wins, they end the losing streak, they're going into the break. Hopefully, everybody gets rested and comes back ready to go. Then they lose 3 to Milwaukee and look shaky doing it. I think part of the problem, Clint, and look, I was one of the, I know we all said outfield defense was going to be an issue for this team coming into the season, but it was supposed to be papered over by the fact that this team was going to score runs. The outfield defense might be shaky and Teo might not be a great outfielder, but if Teo hits the way he did last year. The fact that Andy Pages started hitting kind of made you feel better, right? Max Muncy starts to get hot. You started to feel like, okay, this is going to be okay right now. But now all these guys are slumping. They're not playing very good defense. And so all the mistakes are becoming a lot more glaring. And Greg, I don't know that, I mean, look, Max Muncy coming back is a huge help, but Max Muncy on his own, I don't think fixes all of this.
No, I don't think he fixes it either. I think it just, hopefully he also has to get back into game ready shape so he can be back to what he was. That's probably might take a little bit of time. So that's not going to be an automatic fix. But at the same time, yeah, this, like what Clint has there on that tweet that Parker just put up, is all true. They are not a championship caliber team. So when we're talking about panic, I don't panic now because we do not have, you need, Blake Snell has one more rehab start and then he's coming back. And then you have your basically full starting rotation. And that will help a tremendous amount. When Muncy comes back, that helps he was playing a good third base. I don't care what anybody says. He was playing a good third base and was making good throws and having good stops. So that helps a little bit in the defense because you can put Edman back where he belongs at second base or at center field. There's a lot of things that will get fixed by Muncy coming back. And then you have the trade deadline. Until that trade deadline comes and we see what happens, I still don't believe Michael Conforto will be on this roster as of August 1st. So that means that somebody else has to be playing in the outfield. And when you get that outfielder, whether it's a true center fielder or it's a right fielder, whatever it happens to be, Teo will be moving to left. I can't imagine they go much longer with Teo in right field. They just have to right now. But he is a disaster out there. Game in and game out, dropping balls, things going over his head, can't pick up balls when they're after they hit off the wall, just is not doing the little things a right fielder needs to do to be successful in this league. He needs to move to the left. And then I think at that point, when you have your true outfield, depending on what they do, then all those things start coming together and they say, okay, this is now the real team. And if they still continue to struggle that way, then we start looking at the panic mode. But until that point, I just can't get to there.
Yeah. I have something to kind of set up here as well. I love the Teo needs to go back to left field. Like, just get over it. You're not a right fielder. That puts Pages in right field, and then you open up a spot for center field. I don't know that Tommy Edman is that answer because dude's down to 225 this season. He's hitting a $137 over his last 21 games. Marcus, where are you at with Tommy Edman? Where's your worry about him?
I mean, I'm worried mostly about him offensively. Yeah, the error yesterday was concerning for sure, because that was kind of the thing you could always count on was his defense. And so that was definitely concerning. But yeah, the offense is a problem. And I think you were fooling yourself if you thought the guy you saw in the NLCS was going to be that dude all year long, because that's just never been his MO. But I think, again, it sort of is compounded with the fact that he's surrounded in the lineup with guys who aren't hitting, right? You look yesterday, he's got Miguel Rojas behind him, who, weirdly, Rojas has been one of the brighter spots in the offense for the last few weeks. But, you got Rojas, you have, Pages, who's been up and down lately, Ruiz, who you can't count on, Dalton Rushing, who is still trying to figure out himself in the major leagues. So, it's one thing to not have Edman hitting up to what he did last year. It's even more so when you're putting him around other people. And I think the argument that the contract he got was a bad idea, those arguments are getting louder and a lot stronger after what we have seen from him for the last few weeks. But I don't know. I mean, I think in the short term, until they figure it out, I think an outfield of Teo in left, Edman in center, and Pages in right is still probably their best bet, at least defensively right now. So,
I mean, you have to, Greg, because everybody behind them, I hate to say it, are just lack of better words, bums. And the thing is, I'll make my last point because just like the Dodgers, people back here aren't showing up either. So I got to go get ready for Travis and DeMarco. But I think we're breaking Kershaw, and I don't want to see anybody else get broken. This might be his last chance, and you're seeing him be upset. And like many other Dodger fans, I think that we need to see somebody like Shohei. Maybe he's doing it behind the scenes and we're not seeing it, but we need to see some motivational speeches, some Segoys, because it's getting to the point where it looks like everybody down there just doesn't want to be on the field. And that's pretty upsetting, except for guys like Kershaw, who you can visibly see getting upset. And Greg, I know you got a lot to mention more about the Dodgers, but I'm just going to say Peace out and shout out LAX. I'm gonna go to the free camp.
Appreciate you, Parker. Thanks for
Thanks,
hanging in
Parker,
there for as long
probably.
as you could.
I
Yeah.
also want to ask though, about like the bullpen too, right? Because yes, I know Blake Trinan is coming back, should be back soon, but possibly this week, I think is the talk. But I mean, they're still running Lou Trevino and Will Klein and these kind of guys out there. That's not a recipe for success either. I mean, getting bullpen, because what did I see? I think it's been a month since they've had a clean game out of the bullpen. Yeah. I mean, that's a problem too, guys.
Well, it is. It's the Trevinos, it's the Will Kleins, and like Will Klein actually came in and looked okay, and then all of a sudden gave up the hit to lose the lead, and you're like, all right, geez, you can't have the bases loaded and like against a good hitting team. The Brewers, by the way, just so we're clear, they had 10 hits in at least 10 hits in every single game but one when they had 9 in this series. Like they had over 30 hits in this series in 3 games. And it was all consistently over and over and over again. They were just smacking them around. But the bullpen is of course it's a problem. You can't say otherwise. But I honestly don't think we're going to be seeing Lou Trevino and Will Klein in those type of big situations. Luis Garcia is not going to be somebody that you're going to see at some point. It's all going to be it's going to be the guys that you're expecting to. And unfortunately, they're just being used so much that they're starting to get hit up on as well. So they need some rest. Kirby Yates was actually okay, I guess, yesterday. Yeah. He's starting to maybe get there. It's just you have nobody to get to the end of the line at this point because no lead feels safe at any point. Even the 3-0 lead yesterday, it didn't feel safe. You're like, nah, I don't know. I'm glad they got those 3 runs, but who's giving it up? It happened to be defense.
Exactly. Even at the end of a ball game right now, Tanner Scott can't get the job done, or whoever happens to be in that position, Kirby Yates can't get the job done. Yeah, getting somebody like Blake Trinan, getting an adult back in the room, it's going to help so much. I think just getting that for everybody else's psyche in there to know, all right, Blake can put us on his back. We've seen it before. Eventually Gratterall. But still, like now we've put on the other side and know we're coming up against time here. You look with reality of these guys haven't pitched, for a majority of the year or all season. It's like, are we going to put all of our hopes in these dudes coming back, being right, being healthy and effective through a postseason run? You need an arm, you need some help. I don't want to reiterate all that, but I have hope at some point things turn back around to end the show on a positive note.
Yeah, I mean, at some point you got to still believe in this team and believe that they will figure some things out and kind of get themselves back righted again. And hopefully it starts this week against the Twins. By the way, I saw in the chat, Jasmeet asked about Engardo Henriquez. He has been recalled by the team. So,
I mean, they're just throwing somebody out there that can throw 100 miles an hour. That's essentially all it is.
It's finally not banished anymore. Huh?
So
but he wasn't anything amazing that I'm like he's going to save the bullpen. Like no, he just is.
But he throws hard. So.
Yeah, sure. Yeah,
so that's
he does. He does throw.
The one thing. Go ahead. Great.
I'm going to just try and end for myself on a positive. They're terrible against the Central. They're 6-13 against the Central. They were bad against the Cubs. They were bad against the Brewers. They lost a bunch of the Pirates. They couldn't beat having trouble against the Cardinals. They're bad against the NL Central. They're better against every other team in all of baseball. Like they're 16-11 against the American League, and now they're playing the American League. I feel better about that. I think they just have this thing right now with the Central that they just can't beat them. So, and you can already know that they can beat the West. So that's important to be able to stay on top of the West. And when you start playing all those teams again, that's important. If they can just start picking up wins, I really do think it can start tonight with Shohei Ohtani pitching at least 3 innings. I don't know who's backing him up. I'm guessing a Robleski, but at that point.
It's Dustin May.
Oh, it's Dustin May? Is that they went with?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Interesting.
All right.
Good.
All right. So, Cliff, where can folks hear you? Where can folks hear you rant more about the Dodgers?
So I got a full morning, afternoon of content here. We're going to be live on my All Dodgers channel at 10 a.m. Pacific time. Myself, Jeff Snyder. I saw a comment in the chat that I want to address over there, which is about the Dave Roberts factor there, because we haven't heard a whole lot of fire Dave Roberts. So I will address people's Dave Roberts anger over there. And then at 12 o'clock Pacific time, myself, Alana Rizzo, Dodgers territory, we have Steven Nelson joining us, who also is sad watching this team struggle.
Yeah, I'm sure it's been rough. It's been rough, I'm sure, calling these games for the last couple of weeks, no doubt about it. So go check out Clint You're going to hear him rant some more, give his thoughts there. I did see a fire Dave Roberts in the chat. I didn't think it was really serious, though. I thought it was just mostly tongue-in-cheek. But that'll do it for this edition of the Blue Review presented by LAX. Stick around for the first pitch coming up on ESPN LA YouTube channel. For Parker, for Clint, for Greg, I am Marcus, back with you tomorrow, recapping hopefully a win against the Minnesota Twins. That's tonight at 7:10 at the Ravine. So we'll see you then, 8:30, 8:55 here on the ESPN LA YouTube channel. See you.
Bye.
Bye.